Yo, bro, what's good with you, man?
What's up, Tommy? How you feeling, man?
Bro, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great because it's always a good opportunity when you and I can get on here and talk money, talk the bag. Because I think the hardest part is about keeping the bag, right? So like, what have you like? Because you back in school, y'all in full swing. Y'all about to have y'all started winter break yet?
No, winter break could be in um uh a few more weeks. We're getting ready for like the Halloween stuff. Like the kids get to dress up in their little Halloween um costumes, and we're gonna have like candy for 'em and donuts and all this other stuff. But like, my job is actually going to be to pull the kids out that don't deserve to go. So I'm gonna be like,
Ooh,
yeah, I don't. I actually was like, yo, that's what I want. Like, I want to be the guy that be like, you not in this fall fest because you didn't choose to do the right things. Like, I don't mind being that
dang,
person
bro.
sometimes.
But you know that's the other thing though. Like that's real life. Like
Mm-hmm.
in real life, like it's weird because like real life really don't care, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
that, I think that's the hardest part. Is like we have to be realistic. Like I remember back in the day, like I couldn't even like I wasn't even. I was such a bad kid. I never got to go to none of those.
So you were sitting there with me.
All day, every day, man. It was always a dude that they had in there making sure that we had to stay back and drink the white milk, and like we couldn't do none of that. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? But you know how they, you know what they say, a hard head make a soft, And
Yeah.
it's one of those things where, so in this episode of Bag Talk 101, bro, like there, I'm gonna share my screen real quick because, bro, this is savage. Where's it? Chrome tab. Um, so in this article, right?
Hmm.
Is it on the screen? It's popped
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. I see it.
Okay, so my wife of 3 years refuses to pay half the mortgage. She makes me transfer money to her account for expensive gifts. What can I do? And so basically, the light of it is, it's like this dude says, since our marriage 3 years ago, my wife has not spent a single penny while earning equal to me or more. She also makes me transfer money to her account for expensive gifts. As this is my second marriage, I am trying to keep it. 1 year before we bought our house, she made me pay 65% of the down payment and other expenses. Both of our names are on the house and loan. She is refusing to pay 50% of the mortgage and making me pay 60%. Her financial condition is much better than mine, and she is set for retirement. Bro,
Hmm.
tell me this is not savage. Like, this is like the utmost level of savagery. Like, I can't even believe like this type of situation exists. Like when I sent you this when I sent you this article, what was you thinking about it, bro?
So I felt like it wasn't conversations that were had before he and she said I do, because clearly
Mm-hmm.
this is like, a super big surprise to him, like that she is this way about how the relationship works with her finances. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
how did you get so far into this marriage that y'all have a house together and you're surprised about a down payment? Um,
Bro.
like you have to have these conversations before you get married, and it's especially because he said he went through a divorce. So you would think that he will learn from his mistakes. But maybe the first
Mm-hmm.
marriage wasn't a financial mistake. Maybe the first marriage was some type of emotional abuse, which is might be the reason why he's still repeating the cycle. But if
Mm-hmm.
he had a conversation like, I think we should go 50-50 on a down payment, and
Mm-hmm.
then maybe look for something more affordable. Maybe she was like, I really like this place, but I can't afford the 50% down payment. I can only afford 40%. Are you okay with putting down 60? Maybe they should be
Mm-hmm.
looking for a different place. That way you could look for something that is closer to her budget. But it sounds
Well,
like they have a whole lifestyle that she can't really afford and is putting it off on him.
Bro. Like, and that's the wildest thing is you got to ask yourself, and as a man, you got to ask yourself, how long did you allow this situation to go on before you put your foot down?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and sometimes, like, I find that it comes down to misplaced logic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So logically, I see him going into the situation like I'm a breadwinner and this, that, and the other, which that's fine. But this is not the 80s, bruh. Like, they work awesome jobs, they do awesome things. And if y'all not having a realistic conversation, it's gonna end up you're gonna pay child support, you're gonna be paying for that house, and you're gonna be living in a 1-bedroom apartment by yourself where your living room is your bedroom. Like, bro, like, I just and it's hard to express to guys because I'm like, like, I talked to, like a bunch of guys from back in the day, like, that I knew that joined the military after me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But one of the first things they want to do after they feel like they got the bag and they did their thing is they want to go and get married.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is they promise the house, the car, the everything. But here's the problem: most of the military bases are lonely, dog.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go on deployment, now you done uprooted this person from their family, from everything else, and now they're trying to live and survive without you. Money does not create a better relationship, and money doesn't make better people. You know what money does? It makes you more of what you already are. And that's why you see a lot of people get the bag and people get shocked, like when, they do crazy or bad things. And it's like, you knew their character wasn't on top when you started, interacting with them. And a lot of people, they kind of ask like, yo, they'll say different things like, oh yeah, you don't really operate, you don't really interact with a bunch of people, because I'm trying to, I try to be as intentional as possible of who I allow into my circle.
Mm-hmm.
Because I realize that can ruin your life, bro. Like, that is the hardest thing. It's like trying to come back from a situation where you didn't let the wrong people. I mean, you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Shawn, how many stories have we heard and seen where people just was in the wrong place at the wrong time and they got caught up? Now they're doing a 20-year bid. Like, it's certain people, you know what I'm saying, like from my hometown that I just can't operate with. And a lot of times, like, I used to, like, I used to sit out a little APB. Hey, I'm coming to town. We about to turn up. You know what I'm saying? Come back broke than a joke. Trying to impress people that don't even like me. And that was a hard experience. So, yeah, I don't know, bro. Like, I think the husband was foul on this one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's on the wife. I feel like, I mean, obviously there are two situations, but one thing that I learned from you when I was talking about this situation, like, especially like about relationships and things like that, is if we split, at least it's going to be amicable.
Mm-hmm.
One of us ends up with a property, and then one of us goes our ups away, and we can rebuild our own life.
Mm-hmm.
Those are realistic numbers. That's a realistic situation. But things get ugly when you met a person off of the wrong pretenses. Like, one thing that I admire about you is it's take it or leave it. If you want to be here in this relationship, cool. If you don't, that's cool too. I like you while we're here, but I'm not gonna overdo it and make myself go broke trying to keep you. And that's a fantastic thing. But this brings me to, your topic, bro. You in this Bitcoin, you in this living this debt-free life, my man, out here wheeling and dealing. I'm in the back taking notes. I'm gonna get these student loans off my back, you know what I'm saying? But let's talk about Shibu Inu. So what's the word on the street?
All right. So let me go ahead and pull it up so that way I'm using numbers. All right. So let me go ahead and open up my Coinbase. Have you downloaded Coinbase? Have you downloaded any of those apps with cryptocurrencies?
I have not yet.
Should, even if you don't plan on like purchasing any crypto for a while, the least you should do is download it just so you can watch. Okay.
Okay.
Like,
you said it's called what?
So like I got Coinbase, and like I'm watching 5 different cryptos right now. I got Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Shiba, and Dogecoin. But yeah, like I actually don't own any crypto, even though that's my entire story of how I started investing in stocks, like me losing money in crypto. But I never understood why the price went up and why the price went down. And man, that's a whole nother story. But
bro, is it real quick? Is it Coinbase Pro, Coinbase Wallet, or Coinbase Trade? BTC.
You know what? I don't even know. I just typed in Coinbase and my little Play Store, and then I just downloaded it. But if I was to take an answer, I would probably say Trade.
Okay. All right. But we in there. We in there.
But let's talk about Shiba. So came out in 2020. And nobody really knew what it was. Okay. During this time, everybody was pretty much talking about Dogecoin. Remember when everybody was talking about that? When it was posted all over Facebook? And I remember how Dogecoin was worth less than a penny. And then it became, 1 cent, then 2 cents. Then you look up one day, it's 4 cents. I remember looking back at that and I'm like, yo, this is all-time highs. And I'm not about to, chase what everybody else is chasing right now. I'm going to just sit back on the sidelines. So then it went from 4 cents to like 25 cents to 50 cents. And it got as close to 74 cents, almost 75 cents. And do you remember why it was going that high? Besides everybody saying buy it.
Was it the memes?
Besides the memes, right?
Besides the memes.
Yeah, you're right. But Elon Musk tweeted about it multiple times. And every time he tweeted about it, the price of Doge went up. So I remember he ended up doing an SNL skit, right? He was up there talking about Doge with his mom, and he joked and said he don't know what Doge is, just buy it or something like that. So I guess the community felt like that was very disrespectful. So it instantly started selling off, and it went from like 74 cents down to 18 cents in about a week, maybe a few days. And then ever since then, it's been hovering around 25 cents. So I remember when that happened, I started hearing about Shiba. They call Shiba the Dogecoin killer. Okay. So a lot of people made some good money off of Doge. So now they're looking for the next Doge, basically. So Shiba comes, and it's at a fraction of a penny. I'm looking at it right now. Back in April 24th is 0. And then 5 zeros and a 1. Okay. And then April 22nd, it goes 0.5 zeros and a 2. Now that sounds super small, but you got to understand that it just doubled. Okay. So next thing you know, it shoots up. Tuesday, May 11th, it shoots up to 0.4031. So you went from 0.5 zeros in a 2 to 0.4 zeros in a 3, basically 3-1. You basically 15 times your money, right? That's 15 times.
Wow. So so break this down, right? Like I'm a square when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? This type of money talk.
Okay.
So say I take $100, right? And I bought $100 worth of that 0.002. Every time you saying I'm doubling up. Yeah. So I went from 100 to 200 to 400.
Basically, you doubling it. So let's say you bought in. I'm gonna keep the math super easy. Watch this. Remember, I said it was a 0.5 zeros and a 1, and then it went to 0.4 zeros and a 31. You basically went from 1 to 31. So you're taking your $100 and multiplying it by 31. Your $100 turned into $3,100. And
bro, get out here.
That's what's going on. But most of the time, you're not really talking about your investments in like multiples, but instead percentages. So what ended up happening was Shiba went from 0.4 4 zeros and a 31, and it crashed down to 0.5 zeros and a 7. So it went down from 31 to 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it went down times 7, right? It crashed more than 50%. And then it was hovering sideways between 0.6 and 0.8 for like, let me see. Between June 12th to September 26th, okay? So June, July, August, September. 3 months. And now all of a sudden it's taken off again. So now let's start using percentages.
Okay.
From September 26th, it was at 0.5 zeros and a 7. And now it's at 0.4 zeros and a 48. So now it's up. Let's start using percentages now. 575%. So this is where we can start doing some math. Let's use your $100 as an example. You take your $100 and then you press plus 500. Oh, I gotta relog in. 575%.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be $675. Okay. Now, here's the thing. The price we're looking at right now is all-time highs. And it's possible that it can keep going up, but it's also possible that it can crash, right? So I don't like to get in things like this. I'm gonna just sit back and watch from the sidelines, just like I did Doge. But this is gonna be. I'm letting you know right now. If you haven't seen it already, Shiba gonna be the next thing you see on Facebook where everybody say buy because you're gonna be the bag holder once it crash. If you wanted more information about it, I don't have all the information about Shiba, but I know that they're using. It's like Shiba's connected to Ethereum, which is a more a more trusted cryptocurrency. And then remember the NFTs we were talking about?
Yeah,
that's connected to like the NFTs. So I'm connected
NFTs.
Yep,
NFTs just for the listeners.
Non-fungible tokens.
Okay.
Digital assets.
And what exactly does that mean? You said digital assets.
So basically, it's like, let's see. Think about a PDF. I guess I'll use a PDF as an example. What's the first thing that pops in my head? Right? You have that particular PDF. This is your PDF. Right? You own it. But you can share your PDF and other people can see it, but it specifically is owned to you, right? That's basically what a non-fungible token is, an NFT. It's just it shows ownership over a digital asset. It's been stuff going, selling for millions to hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you can sell like art pieces that you made, and you can make a certain percentage on it.
So I can sell 500 art pieces. But what is the value on the back end of that? So like, how do I know that it's gonna stay worth what I bought it for? Or is it literally just the market, what the market wants for it?
It's whatever the market wants. The market.
So you're literally telling me, bro, that pictures can be Bitcoin.
Basically.
Like my socks could be Bitcoin. If people willing to buy that many socks, now we just going around selling socks.
Yeah, it'll be a picture of a sock.
Which is the scariest part about the whole crypto game. Bro, like, I don't know. That's what...
Yeah, it's that's why I decided to stay out of it. I just want to stay on the sidelines and learn. Like, I'm not about to sit here and chase profits like everybody else and be a bag holder. I did that the first time I did that was in 2017. I'll wait for the next crash and then I get in. But that's all I got about Shiba or Shibu.
Okay. That's real. That's legit. So we talked about Shiba Inu. Now let's talk about SPAC, right? So when I was looking it up, so like the first thing that came up with SPAC, it's a stock, right? And but the interesting part is, so it's a pile of cash reserved for a merger that went through the initial public offering IPO process. But here's the interesting thing: how does SPAC actually get its money?
Through the people who invest in the stock itself. So let's go back to that initial public offering. So when it comes to, let's use Portillo's as an example. Actually, Portillo's just IPO not too long ago. So when Portillo's IPO, let me go to Portillo's. Portillo's IPO'd around October 20th for $20 a share. Okay, and right now it's sitting on $41.88. So we doubled the money if you got in at 20, right? What ends up happening is the company is selling off parts of their company so that they can raise money so that they can expand. Okay. So here's the thing: we know what Portillo's is, right? You go, it's a restaurant. You buy hot dogs, you buy Italian beefs. That's my favorite thing to buy. You can buy burgers, but with SPACs, right? You go, it's a restaurant. You buy hot dogs. Oh, I'll get him myself. That's my favorite thing to buy.
Yeah, bro. Sorry, I was trying to check the chat. Hold on, let me turn it off.
It's all good.
Go ahead.
All right. So with SPACs, normally the company doesn't really exist yet sometimes, or they don't want to go into the IPO, initial public offering, and just be them just yet. It's like, how do I explain it? It's like going from 8th grade to high school to college, right? It's like high school is the SPAC area. They want to be in the middle first before going off to the next thing. All right. So the reason why I brought that up, the SPAC conversation, was because Donald Trump is trying to start his own social media because he got banned for what happened, back in January with the insurrection thing. So he got banned. So he's like, you know what? Basically, I want to go out and create my own social media, which is cool, because it creates more competition with like Facebook, right? So the name of this the SPAC is DWAC. So for a while, it was trading around $9. All right, it IPO'd at $17.33 on September 29th, and then all the way up until October 20th. Somehow the news got out of what DWAC was, and it went from $9.96 to about $112. So that's times 10. But now it's sitting at 56, so it lost about 45%. Okay, but they're basically trying to raise the money in order for Donald Trump to be able to create his own social media platform to compete with Facebook and other social media platforms.
Well, you know what I think? I think the hardest part for people to wrap their mind around is money doesn't care about which side you chose, what said person said or did. That's why you find a lot of people, especially, even after you won the election. This is politics aside. I don't pick sides. That's not, what I'm saying? Like, I'm very much so apolitical. Character means a lot, but like, what I'm saying? Like, I do what I do and I stay in my own lane, right? But at the same time, it's one of those things where like people don't understand how money works. Like on both sides of the fence, they both pushing money, and the type of stuff that like he kind of pulls off is really a check on freedom of speech. You know what I mean? Because I guarantee there's somebody out in the social media sphere, anti, doing the social media rioting and all that stuff to like kind of block that situation from happening. But like that's how enterprise works. That's how America got here. And that's how it kind of continues to thrive. You know what I'm saying? Because people capitalize on situations. That's why it's called capitalism. And it sucks, but at the same time, I think it's one of those things, like when we talk bag talk one-on-one, it's very important for people to understand that they can get into these conversations fairly easily. But you got to know the trend, and you can't run away from something just because it doesn't fit your narrative. And so one thing that doesn't really fit my narrative is Tesla. Because right now I'm mad jealous because they talking billions, right? Like they stock like shot crazy high. Tell us a little bit about Tesla to the moon at this point.
All right. So Tesla just hit $1,000 yesterday. Okay.
A share,
yeah, $1,000 per share.
What is Apple at right now?
What is Apple? Let me see. Apple is at $149 a share.
Wow. Right. So you talking about big bank really take big bank.
But
Apple need to hurry up and get that car out. What's up, fam?
we gotta take a step back. You know, I gotta throw some.
Okay, how we stepping back?
All right, let's go back 2 years. Okay. So I remember when Tesla was, this is like 2-3 years ago, Tesla was around $100 a share. Okay. And I had a coworker at my old school who said he bought about 200 shares for $50. Okay. I told my students this story today. So he was like, man, you gotta buy Tesla. You know, it's the future. And I'm like, I'm going to stay on the sidelines, just like this cryptocurrency. I stay on the sidelines. I'll watch and wait. So that same school year, it went from like $100 to like $400, right? So this is times 4, right? And I'm still sitting. He like, hey, man, you should buy. You really should. It's going to go even higher. It's going to double. I'm telling you, it's going to go to 800. I'm like, I'm good. I'm going to watch. So then it goes from 400 to 800, right? So then the pandemic happened. So Tesla went from about 400 to about 200 or 300, something like that, something along those lines. And then after a couple months, it rose back up and it went back to like 800. So the company ended up doing a stock split. So what a stock split is, they're like, hey, I think our price is too high. We want to attract more shareholders, new shareholders to our company. So let's divide the stocks. So let's say you had one share. You know what? No, I'm going to use his numbers. He had 200 shares. Let's say he had 200 shares, right? Those 200 shares went from 1 to times 8. So now he's holding 1,600 shares. Okay? But they're all now equal to $100. So if you had one share and it got split into 800, it was that one share that was worth 800 got split into 8. Now you have 8 shares for $100. You following me? It's kind of like trading $1 for 4 quarters. It's still the same thing.
Okay.
Everybody goes crazy. And it was like, you can buy Tesla for $100, right? So next thing you know, Tesla went from $100 to like $800 again in the span of like a year. So if you don't think about the stock split, is really valued at $1,600 a share. And then that $800 stock, it went to like close to 900, fell down a little bit to like that $700 range, and that was back to $1,000. Okay? So what's happening right now is you're thinking, oh, the value of this Tesla stock is $1,000. But you have to remember that a stock split happened. Originally, it was at $800 before. It got split down, it divided by 8, and then it became $1,000 again.
And so there's way more of it out there for purchase. Does that make it worth more, or does it make it less? Because like there's a lot more of it.
It'll go less, but it's still worth the same. Let me plug in my computer before I get
but you just got more people. But you just got more people that own it.
Yeah.
So more people owning it, does that make it better?
Yes. More people owning it makes it better. Whew. All right, we're not going nowhere. More people owning it makes it better. It can be both ways. More people owning it does make it better because now more people is buying into the security, right? Because there's more interest. They can get more people to buy more into it. But the thing is, how many people who bought Tesla after the stock split are new investors? So the moment that thing plummet like 30%, how many people are going to sell off? So now you're going to make it more volatile.
Ooh. Wow. Is that the same volatility that took down the GameStop?
Basically.
Because when they started doing that, people started buying more. And then people started selling real quick, right? And so here's my question. When people sell, how do they stop them from like the stock going to complete zero? Because I feel like everybody get in there and then they're like, oh yeah, I made my bread. Oh man, my $100 went up to, but you always gonna have those. I can't even call them anomalies because you got a lot of people that don't understand the stock and they're not watching and having these conversations like we are before we actually put our money into it, right? So they just out there blindly like, I'm gonna throw this money in here. Ooh, we keep going up, up, and up, and they lose everything. And then I heard about somebody whose stuff went negative and they owed.
Yeah, that's probably them using margin, but yeah.
So they took money that they didn't have.
Yeah, they basically took out a loan, and then they had to cover their short position, and then they went negative because they had to cover the short position because the stock went down. But hold on, I got to take a step back. You asked a really good question.
Okay.
You said when a stock is up really, really high, like what do they do when it's like plummeting? They have these circuit breakers. So when you're looking at a company go really, really high too fast, they actually do a circuit breaker on the way up. Like, hold on, y'all need to chill out. You know, y'all a little too excited trying to buy this stock right now. Relax. So they'll put a pause on trading for a little bit. And then if we keep doing that, they'll keep doing the circuit breaker. But it happens the same way on the way down. Like everybody's selling off. Whoa, slow down. Yo, are you sure you want to sell? Let's pause this trading for about an hour. Let's see if they really want to sell.
Like they ain't got to ask nobody and tell nobody.
Nah, I don't know the entire process. I just know it's like a certain percentage. So if it's
like you just sold your 50. Now I want to sell my 50 because you just text me 5 minutes ago to sell my 50. Now 5 minutes went by, but at 3 minutes they stopped it. Now I can't sell it.
Yeah.
Because technically, I guess it's not my money anymore. It's the stock invested into the company.
They're trying to protect the company. Yeah.
So when you invest like that, like these stocks, is that just the evaluation of the company, or like does the company owner actually get that money to use?
It depends. So we're talking about Tesla to the moon. Elon Musk. I heard this morning on the Breakfast Club actually that his position in Tesla is 20% of his net worth or something like that. So he owns like 20% of the assets in Tesla or 20% of the shares, I believe. Okay. But like because Tesla went up to $1,000, his net worth went up like $200 billion or something like that. So Tesla became $1 trillion company. And his net worth is close to $300 billion. He is now the richest person in the world because Tesla went up. Yeah,
off of stock.
Stock. Hey man, it's nothing stopping them from saying, "Hey, let's do another stock split. Let's do a 10 to 1, right? Or 1 to 10." So now this $1,000 share price will be cut down to $100 again. Now imagine how many people will want to buy back in because they missed the first train. They're like, "Oh, look, Tesla only $100. Let's buy." But at the same time, it's still the same price.
Because it's split, but it's still the same price. So they're really not getting a lot out of it.
Nah, this is why they need to read.
And is that why? And is that why people get in on like the ground floor with like the penny stocks and stuff like that?
Yeah, everybody.
Because once it gets up that high, it's really not as valuable when you get in after all those splits. So you literally have to study the company's history to see how many times they've split.
So
because you might get burned.
So look, this is how we're gonna connect what you just said to Apple, because you like, man, Tesla worth $1,000 a share, but Apple only $150. Well, let's go to Google. Let's find out. How many stock splits has Apple had? 5 times. Stock split for Apple happened 5 times, while Apple only had 1 stock split.
Wow. Wait, what you mean Tesla had 1 stock split?
Yeah, Tesla had 1 stock split, Apple had 5.
Wow.
And look,
so you got more people in.
Check this out. A question on Investopedia. How much would Apple stock be worth if it never split? If Apple never split its stock, a single share would have been worth as much as $28,000 as of the last split of the end of August 2020.
Wow.
Tesla would be around 8,000, because you would just take where it's at now and multiply it by 8. So that 1,000 times 8 will be 8,000. So Tesla, if it never split, would be worth $8,000 a share.
Which sounds like, bro, that kind of sounds. I don't want to say, like, I don't want to say that sounds impossible, but like, who is actually gonna get in on that level if it's at $8,000? So, like, in a way, you kind of saying like it's kind of a good thing that it does split, because it gives people that normally wouldn't have an opportunity to invest in it and ultimately, get a chance to like change, what I'm saying, their life and how, how they live and all those things.
You want to see a stock that never split?
What's a stock that never split, bro? Okay.
Berkshire Hathaway is worth.
Wait, hold on. Let me see. Hold on. I'm trying to get back to the. Bro, that's insane. Well, and what's crazy is, ain't that's big dog, big money?
Warren Buffett.
Oh man, Warren Buffett, right? Wow. Bro, they got so much bread, like they built a whole new section of the Decatur. Because like I guess his nephew or something, or like Warren Buffett has a connection somehow to Decatur, Illinois. But like they've been just throwing money everywhere, bro.
Hey,
they got like funny? Warren Street.
Hey, check this out. I just peeped this. This just happened at what time? This just happened at 3:00, and I haven't heard anybody say anything about it. But Berkshire just raised 51%. It was at 439,000, and now it's worth 661,000. I bet you we're gonna hear something about that tomorrow,
bro. Which is insane. But I think one of the biggest reasons why you ain't gonna hear a whole lot about it is because of the fact that like it's kind of out of reach for a lot of folk.
Yeah. But you can buy fractional shares depending on what brokerage you got, so it don't even matter.
Oh yeah. You're right, with the index funds, right? Yeah. So, and that's one thing that like after I get, I get my student loans, at Bay, like that's my next move, because I got all that regular debt paid off, so my credit's been going up, and so it's like once I make that move, I'm really gonna be hunting, and we're gonna be talking about the saying all of that, but I think it's about time we wrap this one up. We done kind of got excited, man, bro. You done taught me so much stuff, like literally in 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I mean, it felt like 2 minutes, but like it's been almost 45 here.
Yeah.
But bro, I appreciate you coming in and sharing your knowledge, man. Like this wisdom right here, how you study it but not be in it, that's powerful, because here's the greatest part about this. You don't have an ego investment in this. So your ego's not tied to it because your money ain't tied to it. So you can literally have honest conversations about what's going on. But what's even better about that is once you do decide to get in and do all these things, you've played with the variables. You know what to look for and what not to look for. And you've been very, very patient, because teachers don't get paid that much. But at the same time, one of the top 3 categories, number 3, and sometimes I feel like number 2, most millionaires, teachers, man. Teachers who make the least amount in the country. That's crazy, bro. But anyway, keep rocking, bro. You know we gonna talk offline after this one. But I appreciate you, big dog. I'm Tommy.
I'm Shawn.
And this has been another episode of Bag Talk. We appreciate y'all. Thank you.